everyone, Lou here. You know, one of my most requested videos is to talk about tips and tricks for things in the Vocaloid community. As I've done a video in the past giving tips and tricks for the Vocaloid engine, I thought I'd give some tips and tricks for MMD now. So, roll the intro and let's get started. First and foremost, the question I get asked is what exactly is MMD? Okay, so MMD is short for MikuMikuDance and was released in February 2008. It's a free 3D animation software developed by Yu Higuchi with the intention of making dance music videos for Vocaloid songs. Keep in mind that, to my knowledge, MMD has only Windows support, so there's currently no proper support for Mac users. I mean, there's workarounds, but I don't personally use literally anything Apple, so I've got no clue. Now, installation's pretty easy, so I'm not gonna give like a tutorial on that, as there's millions of tutorials for it, and I'll put the link in the description for those tutorials. And I've also given a link in the description for Learn MMD's page, which is the official English patch site for MMD that does give some helpful tips. Alright, so let's go.
How do I change the screen size?
Okay, so go to view, screen size, and from there pick whatever dimensions you want. I personally set mine at 1900 by 1080 as that's usually the standard, but you may need to lower the dimensions depending on your computer or even laptop. Like, you wouldn't want to render a 4K video on a potato, you know? Like, so that's all up to you. How do I get rid of edgelines? Go to the Model tab where you get all the sliders and bone select options for your model. From there, go down to View and then Thickness of Edge Line. Lower it down to 0 and that's how you get rid of them. Super simple stuff, really. Though edge lines all depend on your style of MMD videos and pictures. If you want it to look more like Persona 5 and Project Diva Megamix 39, then it's best that you keep them on. But if you're going for an actual, like, 3D look, then it's best you turn them off because my gosh, they look ugly when you keep them on.
How do I do those cool effects?
Okay, so first you will need MMFX. It's an extension application for MMD that's tinkering around with said effects. Again, you need this extension on, otherwise literally nothing will work for MMD. Installation is super easy. All you do is just take the 3 files for MMFX and download them and then put them in your MMD folder. That's pretty much it. I'll put a tutorial in the description that shows it. Like I said, it's super easy. Now, finding effects, that'll be up to you. Places like DeviantArt, Nico, and Bullroll have some incredible sources for both effects and models, so I highly recommend you check them out. Though, keep in mind that the ones found on DeviantArt are often uncredited, as the effects have been used so much that, you know, their original creator is often just lost to time. At least that's been my experience. I sure as hell can't find who the hell made Post Movie or IK Bokeh, as I downloaded them from a re-uploader, unfortunately. Well, I can't really give advice on elaborate shaders like Raycast. Let's do some simple ones like Greener Shader, SV, SSAO, and Excellent Shadow. Start by loading your model into MMD. Click the Effect Mapping button. From there, a main page will pop up. To specifically use Greener Shader, click the Models box and hit Set Effect. Browse to where you keep shaders like Greener Shader and pick whichever one you want. Remember that MME only accepts FX files, and X files are loaded where you would open an accessory from the Camera Select area. Once you pick out the version of shader you like, hit Apply and OK. If the shader looks a little funky, go to Light Manipulation and mess around with the lighting. That part's up to you, but I personally like to have the shadows from like the side a little bit. Now, we see the shadows for models are a little chunky, right? To fix this, get a shadow blurring effect. Personally, I use Excellent Shadow. To load a accessory effect, simply load it as you would an accessory. This will blur the shadow and make it look a little more believable. Now, if you want further depth, let's use SVSSAO. I don't really recommend SSAO, as I find it makes the shading around the model look a little too dark and kind of ugly, to be honest. To load it, simply load it as you would Excellent Shadow. If you notice weird pixelated edges around your model once you load SVSSAO, that's probably because Excellent Shadow forced a black background, so it's fighting with each other. To fix this, go to Accessory Edit under Background, and this will fix the order in which they were brought up in. The top is the first priority, of course. Remember that some effects do kind of have to have a certain load order, so unless you're planning to fix that in the accessory manipulation thing, as I just said, remember to load your effects in a specific order. As you know, it's extremely important, as some effects require a certain order, same with loading a model. It really all depends. Why is my model completely white? This is an extremely common problem. Usually this happens when you don't set Japanese as the backup language for your computer to read. Those steps are pretty complicated, but many UTAL tutorials online show you how to do that. I'll put the link in the description as it's required for using UTAL. Now here is how to fix the issue. We're gonna need PMX editor. I would say PMD, but damn it, we're in 2020 now and we don't make our models using the PMD format anymore. We've evolved past that, for goodness sakes. I've put a link in the description for the English version of PMX Editor. I'm not quite the computer expert, so I can't really give guides and all that, but it's pretty easy stuff. Okay, so what we are going to do is load up our model in PMX Editor. Turn on the green sprinkly button at the bottom next to the blue dot there, and this will turn on the polygons of the model, which will help us in locating the part, as completely white models like this are extremely tricky to navigate. Now, depending on the model, sometimes the part that's missing is specified, so it's easy to navigate and find. But let's pretend this is a model where everything is 000 or was written entirely in Japanese with no translations and, you don't speak the language. To find the part, we are going to click Material on the main page of PMX Editor, then go to Mask or MSK. Click the button that says Parts, and this will show a visual removal of the part as you are unticking it. We're going to keep going down and tick each box until we come across the one of our missing texture. From there, go to the Materials tab once you find the part that's missing the texture, and look at the Texture tab in the bottom. From there, go to the main folder where you keep the model in and navigate until you find the texture that's specified there. From there, rename the texture file and then go back into the text box and rename it. Remember to keep it as the full name with .png or .jpeg at the end and everything else, otherwise PMX Editor and MMD will not read the file. Save the model. I recommend saving it as a new model with a new name, just in case. Once it's saved, load it back into MMD and ta-da! The textures have been restored! Now, unfortunately, this may not work 100% of the time. It highly depends on who made the model. I've had issues where I've done these steps and the model remained completely white. In all honesty, it all depends on who made the model. Some models are a bit tricky to deal with or are just literally broken, but honestly, this works about 90% of the time. Just remember to put your models in the model folder in MMD when you're done with a model or when you need to store it. Otherwise, it is a huge mess keeping them somewhere else, trust me. My MMD keeps crashing whenever I'm rendering it. This is a problem I used to have a lot, and I did have a method that was super tedious to work around and was why some of my earlier MMD videos often got out of sync halfway or somewhere around the video, but I'm not going to share it because it's stupid and I found an obvious better workaround. Now, this is the proper way to render your videos without crashing. First, check the play area in the bottom of the corner to make sure you start it from 0 and end it exactly where you want the video to end. Otherwise, MMD won't give you the option to render the video. To find out where to end a video, make sure it's roughly 50 frames after the final one. It's just buffer to really make sure, as you can always cut any allotted time that you have, given whatever movie editor you have. Now go to Render to AVI, name it, select your dimensions. By the way, for buttery smooth videos, this is where I put 60 frames per second that you see in my MMD videos to run. Anyway, go here to Video Compressor. You are going to select JPEG Compressor and hit OK. This will fully render the video without crashing. However, from personal experience, YouTube does not accept AVI files without it taking 10 years to upload. So go to your movie editor and be sure to convert it. If you're doing a 60 FPS video, make sure your render settings in your video editor have an FPS option because from there you can switch it to 60. If not, you can usually make a custom render setting. I know both Windows Movie Maker and Sony Vegas let you do that, as you can see in my own videos, so... And that would be it. I hope these tips were super useful. I know it can be pretty intimidating when it comes to MMD because there is a lot of ground to cover and a lot of work with it, but I hope it helps a lot. In the description are further tutorials for MMD such as installation along with other guides I mentioned in the video, so be sure to check them out. Let me know down below if there's any other tips and trick videos you'd love to see next. I know people ask for an UTAL one, but to be honest, I don't really use UTAL enough to really know what I'm doing. Hell, I don't even know how to tune an UTAL, to be honest. However, if I'm skilled enough in UTAL somewhere down the line, I'll definitely share a tutorial. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, though. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're new. And if any older new subs would like to help support the channel in any possible way, my Ko-fi page is down below in the description along with all of my social media. For any subscribers, new or old, who would like to help with video ideas or maybe just want to talk about anime or something, then I have a fan server linked down below. See you next time!